Here we are again, Paris Raceway, the oldest motocross track in Southern California.
Brah.
Chatting with Chucky. Tonight's guest is none other than Kenny Campbell, MX Punk. Good to see you, Kenny.
How you doing, boss?
Kenny, first let's figure out how you got the name MX Punk. You're not a punk.
No, I'm a Bible thumper.
There you go.
Yeah. No, I think it all came back from racing motocross as a kid and being a punk rocker as a kid. It just kind of intertwined.
Yeah, I see a lot of punk rock stuff. Who's your favorite punk rock band?
Oh, it's got to be all time would be the Descendants.
Descendants.
Yeah.
I like the Circle Jerks. But then again,
There you
it's
go.
a family show. So how long have you been with the club, Kenny?
10 years.
10 years. Who
Yeah.
brought you in?
Dave Haruki. Yeah, it's fun. I'm having more fun now, 10 years into it, than I did like when I first joined. Like a lot of guys in their 40s,
Yeah.
that maybe have been off their bikes for a while. They get in, oh, man, I'm gonna kill it. Oh, you know what? We're all still a couple old kids. And it's way more fun now, getting closer to like 50, doing the dirt bike stuff, because it's more fun.
That's much more fun.
Yeah, because it's not so serious, and I think.
This guy has no respect for Kenny. No respect for Kenny.
I think too, like in the beginning of the club where they had the jersey rule
Yeah.
and everybody was all against it, I was pretty much, no man, I want to wear my own gear. I'm a rock star. And now it's like, you know what, I don't really care. I'll wear a old-timer jersey if that's what it comes down to.
You know, I keep wearing the holiest pants I have. You know, there again, Bible thumping.
Yeah.
So I remember when we first met a few years back. You were on a Yamaha.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then you went.
Had a
Hey, it's
few.
not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
Then you went to the Suzuki two-stroke.
Yep, had to do that.
And now you're on the KTM two-stroke.
Yep.
You switched back to the 511 from the 94. I thought the 94 was cool.
Yeah.
I am a Kenny Roczen fan.
Yeah, it's funny. When I got back into the club, I had no idea. I hadn't been on a four-stroke or anything, and so when I joined the club in 04, I was about 235 pounds, and I was on a 250F Honda. I had no idea what I was in for because I was trying to move around that Coors Light
Yeah.
and Domino's. And
There it comes. Video bomb.
and it's so funny because then as the years gone on, I was buying 450s, and it was cool. And then by like 07 or so, I was kind of getting burned out of the whole four-stroke. I felt lazy on it. So I bought, in 07, I bought a KTM 250 four-stroke, and it would never start. So I sold that thing right away. And then I bought the 07, maybe that's when we met up.
Right.
And I bought the 450 YZF, and that was a blast, but then I got bored again. And I thought, you know what, man, maybe I'm just going to hang the boots up. I'm on, because it wasn't as exciting.
Yeah.
And then a friend of mine, Jeff Scott, he's a two-stroke guy and a Suzuki guy, and I love Suzukis. And it's funny because he had a busted up knee, and I said, Dad, Jeff, I'm thinking about getting a two-stroke, but I don't know. And he's like, dude, go ride my 07 ARM 250. It's been 20 plus years since I've been on a 250 two-stroke, and grabbed it from his house in Fountain Valley, drove out on like a Saturday to Glen Helen at like 1:30 in the afternoon, blown out track. I couldn't stop smiling. The two-stroke, shit.
Yeah, producer Ray likes it too.
Yeah.
It's funny, people talk about the four strokes and they say that they make you lazy. I feel right at home on it.
It's like a couch.
It's me, you know.
I used to
me.
say I'm going to put a remote control, my TV remote on the handlebars, because that's what it felt like.
Yeah.
Maybe I was riding them wrong. I don't know.
Yeah, I hear that.
But I think with the 450s though, it's just a lot of. It's easy. You can like rest for a minute and just go plop
Yeah.
and go.
Yeah.
And this thing, if you're not in brain nose, if you're not on it, you're done. You
Yeah.
got to stay on it the whole time.
See, for me, I get comfortable and then they put that stupid hump of dirt there that makes you leave the ground, and then I'm out, you know.
Dude, I'm right there with you.
Yeah. So who's your toughest competitors right now?
Well, it's got to be McMillan because he's got that fancy 350 KTM 2015.
KTM.
He had to up the program. I went and bought a $400 Bill's pipe, and he bought a $10,000 dirt bike. So whatever, it's all good.
Well, you're number 3 in points right now. You're 2.
Yeah, I was second, and then
Second?
they keep taking me to these tracks with those dirt mounds on it.
Yeah, I get you there.
Yeah, the jumping stuff, I'm wearing out my brakes.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, exactly. The spring is just going
Yeah,
hell on me.
yeah, it's nuts. But
Yeah.
yeah, I would say McMillan. But it's okay, we're about even. It's
That's
fine.
good. So if you weren't here racing tonight or on the weekend, what can you be doing at home?
Oh crap. Well, PS3. I just picked one up, and we're gonna get this on the list for it. 'Cause I want the club to get like maybe not the 60-year-olds. They might not be into it. I'm hooked on this crazy MX Live video game. that Kevin Pigpen got me into, and I was up last night till midnight.
There you go.
I'm level 45, brother.
Yeah, well, well, that leads us right into this next segment. So, some big doings coming up pretty quick for you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
In
you
fact,
want to talk about that?
no, it's cool. Yeah. Actually, I'm getting married September 20th,
Right on.
and 5 days before my 50th birthday.
Cool.
And today is actually my fiance's bridal shower.
Awesome.
So I was just texting her right before you guys started a little interview to see how it's going.
How's it going?
She's not answering, so it must be
Having
real
a good
swell time.
There you go. Awesome. Well, that's
Or
good.
maybe they talked her out of it. I don't know.
That's good. That's
It might
awesome.
just be loading up all her stuff and taking off.
That reminds me of, when I got married, old guy said to me, he says, let me ask you a question. Did anybody other than your future mother-in-law and your future wife think it's a good idea? And I looked around and I said, no, I think you're right.
How long have you been married?
19 years.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's not bad. I gotta say.
Yeah, I was married once before in the 80s, and then but I've been divorced since 96.
Yeah.
And I was running amok. I mean, a lot of the people that know me in the club, there was one banquet that
I heard about that.
He answers.
Yeah.
He's
I heard that
answering this question.
Yeah.
This was on Kenny's. Just to let you know, this was on Kenny's "You Do Not Ask Me" list.
oh yeah, I don't care. I mean, dude, it was bad.
Barry Simons had a list so long that I couldn't really. It was 5 minutes. I mean, it was 3 minutes.
Yeah.
But that's cool. Now I've met Mrs. Campbell, future Mrs. Campbell. She's really cool.
Oh, she's awesome.
Awesome.
And it's just crazy. I mean, I never thought I'd get married again because I was having, it's fun to be single. I think, like, well, at least it was for me through my 30s, and then into my 40s, I was like, huh. And then as I got closer to 50, I'm like, it's a little bit tougher out there in the single world,
Yeah.
I mean, unless you just want to just goof off, but I mean, to really find somebody decent and cool.
Yeah. Well, you're 49 now.
Mm-hmm.
See, I'm 53, so you start thinking about who's going to clean up after you. And,
Well, that's why my wife is 34 to be. My wife
Awesome.
to be is she's 34.
Cool. Yeah.
And I'm gonna get diapers. And
Yeah, my wife's younger than me, and she's got the no diaper clause. But awesome.
Oh crap!
That's good. So, what do you think of a track like Paris being? What do you think made Paris stick around so
Oh,
long?
it's funny you say that because we were talking about it on the way up here. The Tasty Freeze that's down the road. I was just telling Kevin. I used to race out here. I've been racing since the early '70s, and I remember coming out here in the '80s as a young punk kid and having a blast. And it's the dirt. The dirt's amazing, and it's just funny because in the '80s and stuff, I don't remember having to be paranoid about jumps. I mean, we just went out and we raced.
Oh yeah.
And I think that's why I stick like REM is a no-brainer for me because that's what I think motocross is. This stuff, I mean, it's crazy because like I know I'm supposed to jump because there's guys in my class that are jumping, but I have nothing to prove at 49 really.
Right.
And I'll be honest, man, I pucker up on some of these things.
I have less to prove. I went back to the class where they don't. Although Walper jumps, he's going to smoke me here again. But yeah, I know. It's kind of like I did a lot of my time at Indian Dunes. And,
Okay.
that was fun. I mean,
So you were an Indian Dunes guy. I was a Saddleback.
yeah, I was in the northern
Okay.
area. Yeah. But,
See, I only rode Indian Dunes a couple of times when we did the whole NMA stuff as a kid. But yeah, I was out here. It was like, Paris was a no-brainer. Deanne's a Saddleback. Escape Country was a big deal. God, dude, my parents were like full-on 100% into the sport. Like, my mom used to write for Cycle News and a ton of articles and stuff. And what's funny is when I joined the club in 2010, my mom was actually dying from COPD, and I had been on a bike for 17 years, and I bought this bike when I had turned like 39 or 40, and my mom was, on her way out, and I remember her telling me as I went out to my parents' house to go ride this bike, first time on a dirt bike in 17 years, and she gets in her wheelchair and she's like, "Do you have health insurance?" No. "You better get health insurance before you race that bike." I'm like, "Okay, Mom." And so I went out, broke the bike and everything, and that next week I got health insurance. And I just remember at that time in '04, I was trying to go for the #1 plate then, and didn't work out. So, and then she passed in '05. But yeah, it's funny. A lot of my motocross friends from when I was a kid remember my mom and dad.
Yeah.
It's cool.
How many points back are you from #1 right now?
He's putting a killing on us. I want to say it's probably something like 16, something like that, because I was ahead of Walmart by a couple of points. Like, we were tied for second a couple races ago, and then I just kind of fell apart at Milestone. I don't know. I've got a little program that I've been on since Milestone, so I'm thinking I got something to offer tonight. yeah, I struggled at Milestone and put me backwards in the points, and I think Walpart's in second by like 4 points.
Well, I'm actually in Walker's class, and he's
Brake checking's not a crime.
he's the first place, and I'm the second in the summer series. So I really have something to do, and I think if you could slide a couple of dollars into this pocket here, I could take them out for you.
Turn that camera off. I gotta talk to you.
There you go. We gotta go. Nice talking with you, Kenny.
Yes, sir.
Thanks
Thank
a lot.
you. Thanks.
And then till the next time, kids.